student. Now in this video we will see question number 31, or the question is explain electrolysis process in detail with diagram. Here you can write according to yourself, means you can also write water electrolysis process and refining of copper. Both the things you can write down. Now let's see how the pure copper we can get by the electrolysis process, and its diagram too. Here you can see the most widely used method for the refining impure metal is electrolytic refining. Means we can refine the metal from the impure metal by the electrolysis method. This is the figure you can see the cathode. In that we have to take a pure copper, and on anode we have to take impure copper. This is the battery. This liquid which is filled over here, that is called the electrolytic liquid. In that the salt of electrolytic liquid is used. Means the suppose copper is there, then as a electrolytic we have to use a copper sulfate solution. Function of electrolyte is it's conduct the electricity inside the cell. This is the anodic mud. Whatever the impurities which is present in the copper that settle down at the bottom of the anode, that's why it is known as a anodic mud when we pass the electricity in the cell. Let's see in detail. As I told you that on the anode the impure copper metal taken, and on cathode the strip of pure copper we have to take. And the third one, that is electrolyte. In that the solution of acidified copper sulfate taken. Now whenever we pass the current throughout the electrolyte, the impure metal which is at anode start the dissolving into the electrolyte. Here you can see whenever this is the anode, and here as anode we are taken impure copper, and whenever we pass the electricity, whatever the impurities are there that settle down at the bottom of the anode, and you can say the dissolve in the electrolyte. An equivalent amount of pure metal from the electrolyte is deposited at the cathode, and as a cathode we have to take a pure copper. Now the insoluble impurities which is settled down at the bottom of the anode, that is called the anodic mud. Here you can see this is called the anodic mud. Now whatever the pure copper is released, that we get on the cathode. So how the electrolysis is work, and instead of using copper you can also write down the process of water, means a hydrogen gas and the oxygen separation by the electrolysis process from the first chapter as well. This depend on you, both are the correct one. Now let's move further. 32 number question. Write down the importance of pH in daily life. This is the chapter number 2, acid and base. In that the importance of pH in daily life, that we have to write. There are some points and then we have to elaborate that point. In soil is there, impact of pH on soil, impact of pH in atmosphere like acid rain and all, then impact of pH or importance of pH in human beings, then bee sting, teeth decay. So that point we have to elaborate in this question. Let's see in detail. Let's see answer. First of all, we see the pH in our digestive system, As we know that our stomach produce a hydrochloric acid, HCl. This dilute hydrochloric acid is help in digest our food without harming the stomach. As we studied in life processes, digestive part, that the stomach wall means the gas, which is secrete the gastric juice, and in that gastric juice, the hydrochloric dilute hydrochloric acid is there. And what is the function of this dilute hydrochloric acid? It is the kill the germs and bacteria which is present inside the food, and other function that it's create the acidic medium in the stomach. So the enzyme like a pectin which is pepsin which is activated, because it is only work if the acidic medium, if the pH is low than 7, means it will only work in acidic medium, so it gets start to work. So this is the importance of pH in digestive system. But in case of excess amount of secretion of acid, then what happened? The excess acid in the stomach cause indigestion, which produce a pain and irritation as well, that we known as a acidity. So in order to cure indigestion, we can take a base called the antacid. Why we should take the base? Because the acid, if the acidity is occur inside the stomach, then if we are taken the base, then the neutralization process will take place. So it gives a relief effect. We can take base called the antacid. Being a basic in nature, the antacid react with the excess acid in the stomach and neutralize it. The two common antacids, here the example of antacid are given, that is milk of magnesia, and the formula of milk of magnesia, it's a magnesium hydroxide, so the MgOH twice. And the another antacid that is called the baking soda, and it is also known as a sodium bicarbonate. So this is the importance of pH in digestive system. Let's see the next point, that is pH change as the cause of tooth decay. So when we eat a food which is containing a sugar, then the bacteria which is present inside our mouth, it is break down the sugar, and the sugar is converted into the acid. So what happened in mouth? The acidic medium create, and due to the presence of acidic medium, the tooth start decaying. And this tooth decay start when the pH of the mouth is below the 5.5. And this because then the acid become strong enough to attack the enamel of the teeth and corrode it. Our outer layer of the teeth, that is called the enamel. So if the pH of the mouth is fall below the 5.5, then it's create the strong acidic medium inside the mouth, and this strong acidic medium is enough to corrode the teeth decay, means corrode the enamel of the teeth. So this sets in tooth decay. The best way to prevent tooth decay, to clean a mouth thoroughly after the eating the food. So how can we prevent this kind of situation? How can we prevent tooth decay? So the best way to prevent tooth decay is to clean our mouth thoroughly after the eating the food. And the another way, that we are using a toothbrush. So after the eating food, we have to do the brush. And in toothpaste, it is also a basic in nature. So whatever the excess acid which is generated inside the mouth, that is neutralize it. That's why all the toothpaste which is basic in nature. Let's see the next. The plants and animals are sensitive to pH. As we know that the plants are growth on a particular pH only. So the soil pH and the plant growth, the most of the plants grow best when the pH of the soil is close to the 7. Means all most of the plants they growth on the neutral pH, means neither acidic neither base, on the close to the pH 7. If the soil is too acidic or too basic, then the plants grow badly, means it cannot grow properly. The soil of pH is also affected by the use of chemicals, fertilizer in field. So the chemical can be added to soil to adjust the pH and make it suitable for the plant. How? Suppose the soil is becoming a more acidic, then we have to use a basic fertilizer in the soil. Suppose a soil is becoming a so basic in nature, then we have to add acidic, little bit acidic fertilizer. So by which we can easily neutralize the soil and plant can grow well. The next one, that if the soil is too acidic, then it is treated with the material like a quicklime. As I told you, quicklime, it is a basic in nature, and slake lime too. But if the soil is too alkaline, means it is in basic in nature, then the alkalinity can be reduced by the adding a decaying of organic matter. Now the next point, that self-defense by the animals, plants through the chemical welfare, means the many animals and the plants protect themselves enemies by the injecting a painful or irritating acid and the base into their skin. When honeybee sting a person, then it inject the acidic liquid in the skin, and this acidic material cause the irritation on the skin. So for the prevent this irritation, we have to use some basic things on it, so the neutralization process will occur. So the rubbing with the mild base like a baking soda solution on the sting area, the skin give relief. When the wasp sting is injected as an alkaline liquid into the skin, then the rubbing with a mild acid like a vinegar on the sting area, then we get the skin relief. Another point that we have to add, that is of acid rain. Due to the combustion of the fuel, the nitrogen and the sulfur gas and the carbon dioxide as well, this kind of gas are nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide and the carbon dioxide. They get gas is react with the atmospheric moisture and they form the acid, and this acid is comes along with the rain, so it causes the acid rain. Due to the acid rain, it causes the skin irritation, and as well it is give the very harmful impact on the aquatic animal. So this kind of point you have to write down when they ask, write down the importance of the pH in daily life. Now let's move further. The next question, 33 number question. Write down the preparation and the uses of plaster of Paris. We have to write down the preparation, means how can we make a plaster of Paris, and also we have to write down the use of it. Let's see answer. Plaster of Paris. The formula of plaster of Paris, that is CaSO4 into half H2O. It's called the calcium sulfate hemihydrate. The scientific name of plaster of Paris is a calcium sulfate hemihydrate. Properties, how it look like, it is a white powder. When this plaster of Paris, which is mixed with the water in 1/3 of its mass, then it evolves the heat and quickly set to hard porous mass within 5 to 15 minutes only. So during the setting, a slight expansion about 1% in volume occurs, so that is filled the mold completely and take a shape, means a sharp impression, take a shape of particularly mold. Now let's see the method of preparation of plaster of Paris. How can we prepare a plaster of Paris? So plaster of Paris is prepared by the heating of gypsum. The formula of gypsum is a CaSO4 into 2H2O. It's called the gypsum. At 393 Kelvin in a rotary kilns where it gets partially dehydrated and it's formed the calcium sulfate hemihydrate. Here you can see reaction CaSO4 into 2H2O, that's called the gypsum. It is heated on 393 Kelvin to get a calcium sulfate hemihydrate, which is known as the plaster of Paris. Now the uses of plaster of Paris, that is we can use is for the making of monuments, also the mold of teeth, statues, for the plaster when the bone is cracked. So these are the uses of plaster of Paris. Now let's move further. The next question, 34 number question. Identify the compound acts on the basis of following reaction. Also write the name and the chemical formula of A, B and C. So the reaction of base with the metal. First of all, we have to identify the X. So the answer is X is NaOH, means the sodium hydroxide. Because whenever the metal is react with the base, then and then we get the sodium zincate, means the Na2ZnO2. And along with that, the hydrogen gas is released. So the equation is NaOH plus Zn, it gives Na2ZnO2, that is called the sodium zincate. And along with that, the hydrogen gas is evolved. The second reaction, in that the NaOH which is react with the acid, means here the neutralization process will take place. NaOH means the sodium hydroxide which is react with the acid, means the HCl, hydrochloric acid, to form a salt and water, means the NaCl, sodium chloride and water. The third reaction, that is from the fourth number chapter, carbon and its compound, NaOH plus CH3COOH, NaOH sodium hydroxide which is react with the acetic acid, or you can say ethanoic acid. Then it is formed the CH3COO Na, and along with that the water is released. So the A, that is of Na2ZnO2, B, that is of NaCl, C, that is CH3COO Na, and the X is NaOH. The first reaction, that is called displacement reaction, you can consider. Second reaction, that is of neutralization reaction. The third reaction, you can consider it as a acidification as well as the displacement reaction. Now the section D. The section D we will see in the next video. Thank you.